In our text today, we have the people of the Galileans speaking to Jesus about God's ways. And they are under this belief that when someone has something happen to them that is perceived to be bad, something tragic or horrible, that it's God's punishing them. And if God loves them, they will be successful. And if God doesn't love them because of their actions, then tragedy will befall them. And Jesus takes on this hypocrisy. Jesus wants these people to know that that's not how things work in the realm of God. And they have no right to judge the ills of others. See, Jesus wants us to understand that all of us are blessed by God, and all of us fall short of the glory of God. And God leads us by actions. God leads us to places that are best for us and for the world. And although we may perceive that it's tragedy, in God's world, it may be just what is needed to bring others to faith. This all comes out to play because some people will look upon Jesus on the cross and see it as God's retribution and God doing this to Jesus because Jesus has fallen out of favor. And Luke wants us to know up front that that's not how it works. That Jesus on the cross, Jesus dying, was for the greater good. And it was selfless love, it was giving love that brought Jesus to that point. And that no one has the right to point the finger at anybody else and say, because this happened, you've done something wrong. This has happened, that you are bad. Jesus, who is totally innocent, dies on a cross for the greater good. And it's not about Jesus' innocence. It's not about something that tragically happens to Jesus. It's ultimately about God's love and resurrection and hope. In this lesson today, we learn that we are not called to be hypocrites, and we are not called to cast judgment or cast blame on anybody, because we've all done things that are wrong, and nobody's perfect. And God still loves us. We are not to be hypocrites. We are not to blame. And we are to change our perspective to see that sometimes things happen that may not seem good to us, but ultimately are good for the whole. Jesus dies on a cross for the good of the whole. God bless.